Welcome back to Gun&ShotTV. Today I was going to tell you about rust removal. Many times with a gun, if you take it out and use it or it doesn't get stored properly, especially a lot of times people will get a gun that was grandpa's or sitting in a closet for years, you'll get some light surface rust. This is a Remington Nylon 66 and there's some light rust up here on the front sight, and there's some little bits of surface rust on the barrel here and there. So I just want to clean that up and get it off there and get some oil on there. But a lot of times it's hard to get that rust off, and if you don't get it off, it's just going to keep working and causing more and more damage. The big thing you do want to do, though, is you want to preserve the bluing that you have. You don't want to cut into that finish and remove the finish around the rust, because then the rust is just going to come back much worse. So the tools that I would recommend is some sort of gun oil. This is just Rem Oil. You're going to need some steel wool, possibly. This is all you can find. You can use it. The thing with steel wool is it comes in different grades. So you see there's 3, 2, 1, 0, double aught, triple aught, quad aught. Quad aught is the finest. 40 is the finest. It's a very soft steel wool. That shouldn't damage most bluing. I mean, if it's a collectible nice gun, you probably want to be very careful using steel wool and avoid it if possible. But you could use it in a pinch or on a gun that it's not really a collector's piece. This Nylon 66 really isn't worth that much. It's already got some pitting issues, or like a 1022. You're going to use it. It's just going to get more use and abuse. So it's not a bad thing. I've used quad aught to take rust off. But if possible, you're going to want to go out and find this is bronze wool. It's used for finishing boats and stuff like that, because the bronze doesn't rust if it gets embedded in wood or fiberglass. So really that's the main thing you need is oil and some sort of abrasive. But you want a real fine abrasive. The advantage with bronze wool is it's softer than steel, so it won't damage the steel, but it'll get that rust off. It'll give you a little bit of grit. So all you really need to do is get your supplies together, and I'll zoom in a little bit and try and give you a little closer view of what's going on. So zoomed in a little bit here. You're going to take your steel wool or bronze wool. Like I said, if you use steel wool, make sure it's quad aught. Super fine. Just get it a little bit oily. You're going to take your rusty area, in this case the sight. It's not real rusty, it just has a little bit of surface rust on it. And you're just going to rub it gently. Don't press. Just let the bronze wool take the rust off. And you're not going to remove everything necessarily, but it'll get most of the rust loose. And you want to make sure you use oil to lubricate. And once that rust breaks up and comes off the barrel, you want it to go in the oil and not rub that rust back into the barrel. So you're just going to rub it a little bit. And then once that's there, you got most of that cleaned up. It looks pretty good. You're just going to wipe that oil off. And now I've taken off the surface rust. It's still got some pitting and damage that's visible up close, but it's much better than it was. And we got that active rust off the barrel, which is just going to cause more damage. Now at this point, you've abraded the surface and you've gotten the rust off, but now it's just going to come back if you don't get something on there. So you're going to want to use some sort of rust preventative oil. I like to use lanolin, which you can get in the health food section of your local Walmart or whatever, or you can pick it up online if nowhere locally stocks it. And this is made from sheep's wool, and all you have to do is take a little dab on your finger there, and a little goes a long way, and just rub it on. And it's not bad for your skin. It's going to make your skin soft. It won't burn or cause any damage, and it'll actually work pretty well as rust preventive. You can use pretty much any rust preventing oil, but I like lanolin. Like I said, it doesn't smell, it doesn't really leave any damage to your skin, dry your skin on any of that stuff. It shouldn't burn if you have an open cut or anything like that. And it seems to work well. There's stories about sheep farmers that had a barbed wire fence that's 100 years old on an old sheep farm, and due to where the sheep rub it, the barbed wire is still good. Above where the sheep rub it, the fence is rotten off and the wire's gone. So it does work as a preventative. And then you're pretty much good to go. And just keep an eye on it. If it happens again, you'll need to do the same process and clean it up. But that's pretty much all you have to do. So if you do manage to get rust on your gun, a little bit of gun oil, a little bit of steel wool, or best case scenario bronze wool, and elbow grease, and you should be able to clean it off, and then get some sort of lube on there to preserve it. Like I said, I would really like lanolin. And you should be okay. It shouldn't come back unless you're out in the weather and it gets really wet or something like that. But the great thing about something like lanolin is it kind of gets solid at room temperature, so it really doesn't go anywhere, and it seems to repel water off, and that's really what you want. You want to get a layer of insulation to keep oxygen out. But for Gun and Shot TV, this is Chris saying have a rootin' tootin' drunken shootin' day. Thanks for watching.